I'll cut to the chase. It's about time I cover the Deepwoken in my videos. No, that's not a grammatical error from me. In the world of Deepwoken, there are actually former humans called Deepwoken. In fact, the game is actually named after them, and they became Deepwoken after consuming part of a drowned god slumbering in the depths. There are only two Deepwoken we currently know of, Amorus Pleeksty, creator of Flame Charm, and the First Prophet, the leader of the Ministry. Today we cover the former, and take a deep dive into the surprisingly scarce amount of lore attached to Pleeksty's title and being. I'll be covering everything we know about Amorus Pleeksty, and will be presenting my own theory as to his current whereabouts and if we'll ever see him in-game. Yes, it touches on the third layer and everything in between. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want more lore videos. I'll be ramping up my effort when it comes to this channel, so if you'd like to support me, that's the best way to do it. Thank you very much, and let's begin with haste. So, Amorus Pleeksty. If you're familiar with my video catalog, you may remember that Pleeksty is actually name-dropped by Polus, the NPC that gives you a ring when you start the game, and that's for good reason. Amorus Pleeksty is essentially the godfather of modern attunements, and that's because he was solely responsible for the creation of Flame Charm. Whoa. Let's let down here for a second, Mr. Metal. You said in a video that Flame Charm was first seen when a violin randomly caught fire during Deepwoken's golden age, the Cataclysm. Yes, I did. When I said Pleeksty was responsible for the creation of Flame Charm, I meant the art of literally charming the flames. The song workers of the Cataclysm could always create flames with the song, it was simply unrefined and unharnessed. Amorus Pleeksty developed flame charming so anyone wielding the song could bend the flames they conjured to their will. Naturally, the creation of an entire attunement requires extensive, immense understanding of the song, and Pleeksty didn't develop that understanding naturally overnight. Like I said earlier, he consumed part of a drowned god, becoming one of the two Deepwoken beings we know of, alongside the First Prophet of the Ministry. Pleeksty achieved this feat by reaching the third layer and eating a meteor flower composed of a drowned god's power, namely the drowned god Coral Fiend. Like Etheron controls wind and the gale, Coral Fiend commands primordial fire. He's actually responsible for the red sharkos we see in-game. They've been transformed by fire from vents leaking out from his third layer. In terms of how strong Pleeksty is, he's apparently immortal, and I mean genuinely immortal, cough cough, Recunter, and according to Arch, he'd beat Akira up and down the Eastern Luminant. He's also head and shoulders stronger than Lord Regent, even when Regent's sitting atop his power-boosting throne, and would also put up a decent fight against the First Prophet. It's both this strength and his status as the pioneer of Flame Charm that makes him somewhat of a mythical figure within the surface world. In fact, he's worshipped by his very own society of Flame Charmers, the Covenant of Flame and the Flame worshippers they employ. The Covenant of the Flame themselves have ties to talents like Pleeksty's Will and weapons like the First Light. In fact, Pleeksty's influence also extends to the depths, as it's been confirmed that he was a Black Diver at some point, and he was also responsible for the creation of Pleeksty's Inferno, a Flame Charm legendary weapon. Oscar, the NPC you battle for Pleeksty's Inferno, safeguarded the weapon for potentially decades while literally decaying alive. It's clear that Pleeksty commands influence across the known world, both actively and inactively influencing everything we touch in Deepwoken, whether that's in module descriptions, through NPC dialogue, or simply places we visit. Now, that's the end of all the known information on Pleeksty. This is where your typical lore video would end, but this isn't a typical lore video or a typical lore channel. Just because this is the end of the Pleeksty lore we've been given, doesn't mean we can't speculate, and speculate I will now that we've reached the latter half of this video. I'm sure you're all wondering, where is Amorus now? Does he simply dwell in the third layer and refuse to return? Well, it's not that simple. We can find all the answers we need in the most unlikely place possible: ancient Greek mythology. Yes, this may be a bit much to fathom, but stick with me. I'll run you through it, and for you to grasp it, we'll have to start at the beginning, with the tale of Prometheus. Now, in layman's terms, Prometheus is the god of fire in ancient Greek mythology. Besides his status as a deity, he's best known for his creation of mankind by sculpting them out of clay in some versions of Greek myth. Prometheus shaped man out of mud, and Athena breathed life into his clay figure. However, that's not the only thing Prometheus is known for. In fact, it's his second claim to fame that's relevant to us here. Prometheus was responsible for giving fire to mankind, namely, after stealing it from the Olympian gods. You see, in Greek mythology, Prometheus steals fire from the gods of Olympus in order to bestow it upon mankind. He's taking the ability to wield fire from the gods and giving it to humans. Now, please tell me, who does that sound like? That's right, our very own Amorus Pleeksty. Pleeksty is Deepwoken's Prometheus. He stole flame charming from the drowned gods and gave that knowledge to humanity. However, the tale of Prometheus doesn't end here. In Prometheus Bound, an ancient Greek tragedy traditionally attributed to Aeschylus, who's an ancient Greek tragedian, Prometheus is punished for stealing fire from Olympus and giving it to humans. It's nothing to scoff at. Zeus, king of the Olympian gods, condemned Prometheus to eternal torment at his hands for his transgression. Prometheus was then fixed to a rock, and an eagle spawned by Zeus was sent to eat his liver while he was bound to a rock and unable to move. His liver would then regrow overnight, only to be eaten again by the same eagle the next day in an infinite cycle. Forever. Now, think about this. Where do we see time repeating infinitely in a cycle in the game of Deepwoken? Bingo. New Kyrsa's time dilation. Now, this could be coincidence, or it could be an indicator that the dilation leaking out from New Kyrsa is also affecting the third layer. Why do I mention the third layer, you ask? Well, if Pleeksty is mirroring the tale of Prometheus, he's likely trapped in the third layer. It's punishment for bestowing flame to mankind. Here comes the bombshell, because it's also where we'll be heading. According to several major versions of Prometheus' tale, Prometheus was eventually freed from his eternal torture by the hero Hercules. We are Hercules, and when the third layer releases, we'll be embarking on our journey to free Amorus Pleeksty from his punishment at the hands of Coral Fiend. He's trapped in the third layer, that's why he could never return to Aska and reclaim the Pleeksty's Inferno, why we had to impersonate him and do it for him. Coral Fiend is holding him hostage in layer 3, and by the time we reach him, Pleeksty may not even be sane anymore. Here's what I'm thinking. We'll descend to free Pleeksty, so he can assist in combating the Ministry, only to reach him and realize something is horribly wrong. Boom, we'll fight him, and then we'll get 3 new legendary weapons when we win. We'll also become a Deepwoken, and the game will hit 150,000 players, and then I'll get my own custom title, and a and a big diamond statue with a large base that says Lore God on it. On a serious note, I do believe in one of those outcomes, and it's us eventually becoming a Deepwoken like the First Prophet and Pleeksty. Well, I'd love to explain right now. You'll have to wait for my video on the player character to see what I really think about it. In the meantime, I will say one thing. Open the game right now. Right now. Check the talent list and find the talent labeled the Sound from Below. Unique talent, isn't it? Doesn't really have a purpose. Sorry, what talent tree does it belong to again? Oh, right. Deepwoken.